PDAC 2019. I'm with Dean McPherson, Head of Global Mining for the TMX Group. Dean, thank you again for joining us. We love having you speak to us here at SmallCapPower. So give us, when we spoke to you last year, we talked about mining stocks and mining shares on the TSX and the venture. Talk to us about sort of the general state of affairs of mining shares on both the big board and the venture exchange.
We're doing pretty well. Last year, the sector mining raised $6.5 billion in total, and we had 55 new listings, most of which was on the TSX venture.
Okay.
So 82% of those 55 new listings were on the TSX venture. New listings are a pretty good indicator of the state of affairs. Yeah. And so we're pretty encouraged by that. Last year, of course, brought a lot of volatility as well.
Yeah.
So what we found is that while activities have been very positive, as I said, 6.5 billion is way above our nearest competitor, I would say the Australian. It represented something like 34 cents of every dollar raised globally for mining companies. By comparison, our nearest competitor was something like 17% of every dollar raised, while we're 34. So we're more than twice the nearest competitor. So all in all, things are still positive, as I said. With some volatility thrown in. So, another component that came into play last year, and it certainly has spilled over into this year, is investors looking for companies that are socially responsible. The whole corporate social responsibility factor has crept in. And I think both mining companies, investors, and governments, generally all stakeholders, to be honest, have sort of embraced the corporate social responsibility drive. And what's under that as well is the gender diversity issues as well has played a part. So we've seen an evolution in mining that I think started at late 2017 and picked up steam in 2018.
Yeah. I want to touch on a point that you made as well about Toronto sort of being the center of mining finance globally. Now, one of the reasons that I see about that, or I see, is because of the sort of unique financing vehicles that is on the TSX and the TSXV. I don't know that all of our retail investors might be familiar with things like the capital pool company system. Can you just give us a quick overview of how these are able to benefit companies like mining stocks?
Yes, certainly. One of the key advantages for us here in Toronto is that we do have different options for companies depending on what levels you are. We think the variety of options that we offer companies in terms of the time that it takes to get listed and the cost that might be involved is very attractive, and that's why mining companies have been so drawn to us here. That's why our leadership is maintained, and I think that's why we're growing so well. So, the CPC program is just one option. There's a traditional IPO listing, and of course there's an RTO listing where companies can tap into one of the companies that might be on the exchange already public, but a private company that might be a little bit more attractive and aggressive might come to some sort of agreement and complete an RTO. But the CPC is by far more popular because it just for the fact that the CPC is a clean public vehicle that was created to complete a qualifying transaction in what essentially is a reverse takeover of a private property.
Right. Dean, before we wrap up here, we were talking earlier, you and your team are always traveling, always on the road. Talk to us about the key sort of, if there's any key priority markets for you, or internationally that you're looking at to maybe attract listings to the TSX.
So the TSX is the TSX and the TSX venture. We are indeed a global platform, and so you're right. We do cover the globe, not only from an investor development standpoint, because we do find that we do operate on both sides. In that we try to build a capital pool here in Canada, which is a component. The investors are a component of this capital pool, as well as our issuers. Outside of Canada, I would say Latin America is next in terms of the concentration of properties that are with us, and I think we intend to continue the significant push in Latin America, as well as continuing our focus on interlistings and dual listings and giving Australian companies an opportunity to join our market and join and getting easier access to North American capital, really.
Thank you again, Dean. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. It's always great to see you. Thanks for inviting me.